And here we go, welcome back to the Student StarCraft AI tournament. We have got for you a new bot, and it is called, well, Flash we already had, but it's called Cocoa Butts, and Cocoa Butts is playing as the white protoss in the bottom corner. And, well, of course we are always chill to have new bots on the scene, but if they are called Cocoa Butts, I don't really... Well, it's not really classy, but we are going to see how it's going to play out. That said, we have got Flash, and Flash is not Young-Ho, is... well, I don't know who Flash is, actually. Flash is... University of California, that's good. Well, Cocoa Butts is a Danish bot, and actually there is a university course at the Danish Technical University, and they are doing a course in AI and computering, and they have chosen to make Brood War bots as a project. So now we've got 4 groups, I believe, working on a Brood War bot, and 3 of those are already on the server. One of those has been on the server for a long time. It's called Jacob Knudsen, and well, has been active for a bit. It is playing Protoss, as is Cocoa Butts, and as you will see, the third bot we have gotten onto our servers is a Protoss too. So that said, we've got a 2-gate going on, and as the devil is playing with it, Flash is going for a 2-gate as well, but with a slightly quicker transition into tech. I believe, yep, only 2 gates, no expansion. So supply-wise, Flash has an advantage, and also defending a little bit better, keeping its units close to base, and with the Zealot advantage of 5 to 3. As you can see, Cocoa Butts not really operating in a formation yet, and that is going to cost it because it lost 3 Zealots already. Not targeting the weakest Zealot, so these shields will regenerate. And Flash just doing a number, growing its own numbers while decimating those of the enemy, while hardly taking any damage. And as you can see, Zealots being built and being streamed in one at a time. Meanwhile, Flash going for the expansion, and now should or might be going for some Dragoons. Yep, there we go. One at least, but the Zealots are in production already, and the first Dragoons are out there already. Then this is it, I believe, and Cocoa Butts, well, new bot, always a hard thing to do, but ignominious defeat at the hands of Flash, which would be a huge deal if it was a human there, but it's not, so I think that's that. And we can't see any more of Flash because the game is ending. So that is the first one. Then again, always nice to have more new coders on stream. And well, let's go right into the other game, and we've got Nathan and David. It was from a high school project which Michael Serticki tutored in Prague, and the other new bot, we had him last week, but we've seen a couple of updates, so I thought, well, let's have him back, is Cha Seung-guk from Korea. And that is really something to have, because well, Koreans have got Brood War in their blood, and they can do so much more go-through stuff, and if only they could put that into a bot, that would be incredible. Now, Nathan and David we've seen before, and well, it's been a while, not really all that often we had it in the cast, but let's see. And as you can see, that Cha Seung-guk is harassing some workers, and the workers of Nathan and David are not really doing much. Oh god, there go the workers of Cha Seung-guk. And that is not really coded, but that is what workers do if they... Well, it's like watching a... it's like watching the standard Blizzard AI. How many workers are left? We've only got 2 left. And there is some money, but I think that this SCV is waiting to build something, I don't know what. And some are returning now, and some are continuing in chase. But if you look at the supplies, Nathan and David are all clearly ahead with 26, and this one SCV is doing some milling about. Nathan and David pulling ahead in supply, 30, almost doubling it now. But Chasinguk is moving on, now going for fast factory, very fast factory, and the remaining 3 SCVs returning to base. So we've got one idle SCV, I don't know what it's going to do, and we've got one Marine now facing 4 Zealots. And of course, as a 1 Marine, you can't really expect to win that. So where's the cavalry? The cavalry is not there because there are only SCVs, and that is the game. So Chasinguk, I don't know, that's interesting, but good, I believe. And that is that, as they say. Okay, so the very interesting was that the random matchmaking software queued another Nathan and David versus Chasinguk right after, so that's very interesting. You could have, if you were very fast paying attention, you could have seen by the numbers of the replays that these games have been played almost consecutively. But Chasinguk as the Yellow Terran from Korea, and Nathan and David, 2 high schoolers from Prague, from the Czech Republic. Last game we saw 1 probe attacking an SUV, and all the SUVs went off in a wild goose chase. So that's not really well, that could do with some work, but as we see now, the map's a little bit bigger, and this SUV is pestering the probes, but they are not to be deterred, and the SUV is going a little bit crazy as well. So here comes the probe, and let's see what it's going to do. It's only going to scout, and now the Marines are ready, and the SUVs don't need to fend it off, so now the Marines check it out and chase away the probe, while all the SUVs keep at work. And a Vulture is being built, more Marines are being built, so that's very good. Very fast forge for Nathan and David. I don't really know what's up with that, but we are going to see in a minute. Going to speed it up just a tad, because well, these initial stages of one base are not really all that interesting. Zealots now taking out the SCV, and we've got a couple of vultures, more coming, spider mines, and a handful of Marines. So, though I think that Chasinguk will suffer some losses, these Zealots can't possibly need to kill all of these Marines and vultures. Nice fake micro by Chasinguk, but in the end, I think that these Zealots are taking too many damage. Lower 5, now only 2, and well, they might die simultaneously. Almost simultaneously. So that's the first blast, the first blow struck for Chasinguk. Another SCV has snuck in, or it's the same one, I don't really know. And Nathan and David sturdily continuing the production of Zealots, going for an expansion. That's very good, always a good thing to do, expand, because you can produce so much more of 2 bases than of 1. And Chasinguk, remember, went for, at first, for a tank vulture marine push. We'll speed it up again because nothing much is happening. Well, minerals being mined, upgrades being built, and units produced, but nothing in the way of conflict. Going for medics, so that can be a very strong push on base. And as you can see, we've got a slow train of Zealots coming over. Second base up for Nathan and David, but with the mines and the vultures and the marines and the medics. And the stim, on the mine, and that's it. So almost no losses incurred on the side of Terran, and I think that protoss now has to put his 2-base economy to work, because otherwise it's going to be relatively bloody. +1 weapons upgraded, and how many have we got? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 10 Zealots, but as you can see there is a lot at home for Chasinguk, and there is even a minefield in place again. Ooh, bad placement of the first siege tank, but as you can see these Zealots are being mopped up, no problem. This SCV, who has got 10 kills already, so it has managed to kill off some probes, and that is going to hamper the economy of Nathan and David. And there are the vultures and the siege tank and the bio, and the tank dies. So nice evasive micro, but at one point you've just got enough troops so you can stand your ground and kill off the enemy And there goes the expansion. As you can see on the part of Chasinguk, no expansion yet. But building placement is okay, army is okay too, might one base push. And if it doesn't send all its workers off on wild goose chase to kill the scouting worker of the enemies, it is capable of delivering a very nice punch. I have 2 factories, 2 barracks, rather spaced building placement. Oh god, it says goodbye Nathan and David. That is really good. It should be Nathan and David, but that name is too long, so Nathan A. David stands for Nathan and David. And Chasinguk, bringing on the BM, says goodbye and taking the victory. So, well, that's very well played by Chasinguk. He said he was going to have it in top form before the holidays were over, so we're going to have a look at that. Now, back to Denmark, because, well, that is W.O.P.R by Søren Glad, one of the old guard. Back to Denmark, because that is Cocoa Butts, and I don't really know what I've got to think of these names. Some people gave their bots, but Cocoa Butts is out there among the worst. Oh, and we've got the first person information now. Sending a scout, found the main base, that is correct. And W.O.P.R is, well, going for the old school Terran style bunker, a couple of marines in there, and then taking behind that 2 factories. So very quick build up to a bunker with 2 marines to fend off any 4-pool shenanigans, then off to the mech department and go for it. Meanwhile, taking a rather fast command center after only 1 tank and a handful of vultures with the mine upgrade, so that's going to pack a lot of. Oh, and Cocoa Buds is... I don't know what he's doing. Seems to have stalled. Perhaps it will unstall before the enemy comes, but I don't really think that it will. The enemy, meanwhile, is sitting at home, macroing up like a champ. And then... that is not really the player leaving the game, that is the server terminating the game because there hasn't been a kill for 5 minutes, and if these bots are playing too passive, that's what happened. So Cocoa Butts going offline, only mining minerals, something in programming needs to be ironed out. And then we come to well, the highlight of the day really, because we've got another new bot and it's called Awesome Bot, and compared to Cocoa Butts that is a lifelike large improvement, so very well done. And the opponent is Matej Istnik, and Matej Istnik is one of the old guard, does a kind of hybrid bio mech play at which it is very good. Also it's been worked on for quite a bit, so it can back quite a nasty punch. And now we are going to look at Awesome Bot. Again, it's protoss from the Danish Technical University again, and again a moving its first zealot, or just scouting, I don't know. No, seems to be a... Oh, let's slow it down just a little bit. Seems to be a moving, and 1 marine is on the lookout for I don't know what. Here you can see the combat simulator running back and forth, not really wanting to engage this marine or this group of marines. And as you can see, all the zealots are in the same control group. So this one is attacking, no, it's moving back, attacking, moving back, attacking, moving back. And as soon as these zealots enter the area of conflict, they get caught up in the attack group and they start moving back and forth along with it. So Matej Istnik now in a bit of trouble, but with the fire bats and the medics, I think it will be able to pull them. These zealots are being microed perfectly, doing a lot of damage, and maybe now being beaten back. They could have done a little bit more. I don't really think, because that was a timing window to do some damage. Now with the vultures out, I think that Matej Istnik can do a bit more damage, and if you look at the supplies, 41 for protoss, that's very interesting. I suspect at the back of this there will have been no tech. There's a forge, some cannons, and more cannons. And that's another pilot. So I should say, okay, nice bit of zealots incoming, but the army on top of the base, on top of the ramp, is having none of that. First vulture out, going to get killed. That's a bit of a pity. And these units in the back, they have to be dragged up there because these zealots don't attack, so they get killed off needlessly. Damn shame. Meanwhile, in the Protoss base, we've got a cyber core and we've got gas beam mines, so perhaps some runes, that would be interesting. And the zealots keep piling on the pressure, and these vultures keep on dying needlessly. We have some places, so these zealots are in for a shelling. And the medics are moving badly, so they get shelled along with it. No expansion from either player, so that's well, that's curious, I'd say, but we are just getting more mech units. Now the Snake is moving out, having enough supplies, also by a little bit ahead. That's we see in the field as yet. No expansion, and no, that's Citadel, and oh, Templar Archive, so that's cool. Perhaps some DT play, because it's going to need it in a short while. Snake overtaking the enemy in supply, also taking the expansion. More tanks coming up, and also Bot only operating on a handful of very damaged zealots at the moment. Now the buyer with the medics entering the base, and where are the Dark Templar? Oh, we've got one Dark Templar coming up. And I hope it can do wonders, because there is a lot of... Ooh, it has been scanned, but I don't think it's being attacked as efficiently, because these vultures are running about, and there goes the Dark Templar. Oh, but we'll have 3 more soon, or 4 more, and I don't know how many scans Isnik has. Out here, out there, and now these Dark Templars are going to have a little bit of a field day against these units without detection. So they can't really look up into the base, so though the Citadel is dying, as long as you've got a Templar Archives, you can produce Dark Templars, and as we can see, Bot has got already, oh god, 8 Dark Templars already. It's a bit of a pity that they leave these, this tank and this is killed now. But Bot now on 10 DTs and chasing back the enemy across the map. Oh god, and this vulture is, well, it can't really move through things it can't see, so it will move back. Oh god, we are going to have a game of Minesweeper with Dark Templars. Okay, that's a nice strike. As you can see, Isnik has mined the path towards the enemy with spider mines. That is a very efficient tactic. And oh, that's 2. Oh, 4. So 4 Dark Templars dead and a lot of them damaged. But now I think that this is it. Because as soon as you've got Dark Templars in your middle line, things are not looking well. No expansion yet for for Bot. That's curious, mining out, so I think it will have to kill the enemy because Isnik is stabilizing, but a lot of damage. This one's got 15 kills already. 16, 10 here, and as you can see, below the ruck more mines, the Isnik is taking a lot of damage, and the SCV numbers are plummeting. 9 left, and you should keep them at this main, because that's safe behind these mines and this turret, I should say. But it's sacrificing units needlessly in the enemy, in natural now being occupied by the enemy. And there goes the comset, so it's now 1 comset versus 16 Dark Templars. Oh, and the game of Minesweeper continues. That is, oh god, that's painful. Oh, and well, 2 survive. That was that, because I don't think there is 1 more SCV, and it is here up in the in the base of the 3rd. And it has mined out. Where are all the probes? Oh, well, here they are. So he's VM long distance mining from the enemy natural. This SCV will not get built. Isnik out of money with a handful of Zealots and Dark Templars in the base. Normal combat units, no more mines, and I think this is going to be it. The only thing that will be interesting to see is if the 3rd will be found, or the factory will be found. We've got 1 Wraith, but what can you do as a single Wraith if the map is crawling with probes and Dark Templars? Not really much, can you? Meanwhile, Olsenbad seems to have stalled at 70 supply. I don't really think it's doing anything more, and a third has not been... It's almost being found the entire time, but these DTs haven't got the scouting skills to do that. And Olsenbad is stuck at 80 supply and not building any more pylons. Perhaps this probe has something to do with it and is trying to build a pylon over here, but it can't. But it seems that that is it. Going to give the game to Olsenbad because that's not really interesting to see. And now we have got one more game of Olsenbad, and this time against a little bit stronger opponent. It's Crazio. Crazio has been working very hard on his bot. Last couple of months, really, a lot of updates, and it has been taking out TSMU at times, so that's very good. And Olsenbad, of course, is going for the DT thing. Now, Crazio said he had been working on beating off early rushes, and I hope that he has been working on beating back DT rushes. And as I observed earlier, that the Denmark Technical University, or Danish Technical University, stands for DT Dark Templar University. But that aside, as we can see, we've got a lot of zealots chasing the SCV, and the SCV not taking any damage, so it's very well done. Delaying the push by a little bit, and Crazio not taking any half chances, just blocking the ram with the bunker, with the vultures, with the marines, more vultures. So as you can see, that is relatively rush-proof. Well, the vultures have got much better micro than Mateusnik had, and they are going to take home these zealots, but they'll be taking care of themselves. Meanwhile, Crazio is a bit slow on the expansion. Hopefully this SUV is going to do something about that. But it's just a lot of vultures and trying not to die to an early rush. That was a bunker, perhaps, and what was this SUV going on? Meanwhile, these vultures got these zealots well under control, and it's waiting now. Here comes the cyber core. Oh, Crazio taking another main. That's very well done, because 4 and 8 you've got more mineral patches. You've got one more mineral patch and you can't defend it, so that's interesting. This vulture doing his duty. 3 kills and will be all zealots, and I think that Crazio is now set to take this game. But where are we? Citadel of Adun. It looks like another Dark Templar play. The question is, can Crazio do something about that? We've got the Academy coming up, we've got a lot of turrets, so getting into the base will be a little bit hard. Siege mode, spider mines coming up, so I'd say that if Olsenbad was going to do anything with the Dark Templars, and we've got the, yep, there's the archives, it's got to be fast. Perhaps take on the third, because as you can see there is nothing defending it. Main base is very well blocked, and I don't know what these SCVs are doing. Crazio go for a little bit slower setup, but more early game focused. I think that is a good decision, but it should be trying to adapt to the enemy, because if the enemy is... well, this one's freaking out, but if the enemy is sitting back and not being aggressive, you should... oh, and the vulture's got speed now, so these zealots can run all they want. This one vulture is going to do a whole lot of them. 1 kill. And that's very nice to see, because it's a nice demonstration of the amount of APM these bots have. If you can see, Olsenbad now operating at 3000 APM, Crazio at 1400, so that's very, very good. All kinds of vultures going over the map, and supply-wise, Crazio now pulling ahead, taking the third base. And where are the Dark? Oh, we've got 1 Dark Templar. It's got damage already, so perhaps Crazio has been scanning and is now out of scans. But as long as it's just these vultures in the middle of the base, they aren't really going to suffer much from Dark Templars, because even though they can't detect them, they can move out of the way if they suspect they are there. This one is getting cornered and killed. Now, AwesomeBot with 8, 9 Dark Templars, Crazio sitting behind a wall of mines and could do with another turret, but it's very, very defensive. 2 tanks on the high ground. Noticed that before. That's very well done. Third only got a turret, so perhaps that could be stalled. But meanwhile, the vultures have picked up on. Oh, that was a nasty hit. All these Dark Templars got very low. And these vultures doing everything they need to be doing. Supply-wise, AwesomeBot almost mining out and not taking another base. Crazio sitting back, as we know Crazio as of old, going to max up to about 150 supply I think, and ooh, that's interesting. All the Dark Templars are out on the map chasing vultures, but with a 3 base versus a soon to be 0 base economy, I think you can do that. And nice scan over the mine screen. Oh god. Don't take me wrong, Dark Templar is a nice unit, but you can't really rely on it to beat big bad bots like Crazio. And into the minefield they go. 1 left and there it went. So now the only thing is waiting for dropships. Crazio going all out in the mech department. 3 bases being nicely saturated, more supply depots out here. That's a good choice, because if something comes in to attack, it would be nice to have something to take the damage before the zealots, the SCVs get hit. Meanwhile, more of the same, no weapons upgrades, mining out, and Crazio just hanging back, not taking any chances. Or perhaps the chances might be here, because that's not really defended as of such, but with the nice minefield. Oh, Crazio had enough firepower to kill off the entire wave of Dark Templars. And how many DTs are left? We've got 4. And I think that's going to be it, because there is no more money for AwesomeBot. And it's long distance mining now, but this vulture has found them, and although these 2 did a lot of damage, Crazio should bring some kind of portable detection like a science vessel, or build some turrets. And there comes a scan, but there's nothing to kill off the DTs. Are they still revealed? Yep, they are. And this tank takes 3, or 2 with a probe. Now Crazio going for a 4th. Comsat. Main mined out, but that's not really the biggest issue. The big issue is that that's the last hurrah for AwesomeBot. Still no detection, so these DTs are really doing a number on Crazio, but I can't really see 2 and 3 DTs. Although they killed off the entire wave, they now die, and we've only got 7 zealots left. No more Dark Templar, because I don't know. No more Dark Templar, period. And Crazio is on the march, preparing its tanks on site. And look at how carefully it's playing. It's got 5 bases, very defensive, very controlling, just taking it all by mines and slowly pushing forward with the mech army. AwesomeBot now mined out. I don't really see how it can come back from this, so I'm going to speed up just a little bit. And as you can see, Crazio slowly but surely is pushing in, killing it all. And that's the GG. So, that's that. AwesomeBot, nice try with the Dark Templar play, always nice for an early release of your bot, but it should bring something better to the table to beat the big guys. And, well, Crazio said, well, I've been watching some games lately, and this is a good one, so you should do it. So here I am, doing it. And we've got StarCraft, also known as W.O.P.R, War Operations Planned Response. When StarCraft hasn't really been working on it for quite some time, which is a pity because he's such a talented coder. Must be busy. Crazio, meanwhile, has found some time to update his bot, but we are not having Crazio in this game. We've got TSMU, and TSMU has been working on deep learning and neural nets, which means that he hasn't been releasing any updates for his current set of 3 bots, which is just 1 bot that's playing all 3 races. And it's still very, very good. I'd say together with Killabot, TSCMU Zerg is the best Zerg out there at this moment. W.O.P.R scouting with single SUV, TSCMU going for a lot of drones and a couple of lings. I don't really know what this thing is with the two scouting drones. That is a lot of mining time lost. And now getting killed by the and not really scouting anything. Would have liked to have seen this factory, but didn't, so that's a pity. Meanwhile, these two lings cornered the SUV and killed it off. TSCMU going for a very early evo chamber. That's interesting. Might be some kind of a lurker rush. Going to speed it up just a little bit because, as you can see, nothing much is happening. W.O.P.R going for the safe play, covering the natural with a couple of SUVs, a bunker, and a handful of vultures. TSCMU, meanwhile, only having a couple of zerglings and not really much else. So here come... Yep, that is that. And have we got lurker ready, or is this building upgrade? So very fast armor upgrade. I don't really know what's the deal with that. I versus protoss versus a +1 zealot rush you might do, and that's an interesting minefield. I don't really know how that's going to pan out, but we're going to see. Meanwhile, W.O.P.R going for the expansion, going on 2 bays, very well defended, so setting up a very solid play with an interesting minefield. Ooh, and that was one link clearing it all up, almost. Clearing 3/3 of it off. Now, this link scouting out the enemy bases, trying to see, to gauge how many expansions the enemy has got. 3 expansions for TSCMU. Building up a large Zergling Hydra army with a couple of Scourge, I don't know what that's for. Meanwhile going for the Lurker upgrade, the Hydra weapons upgrade and Hydra speed. And I don't really think that Hydra Zergling is a good combination versus a Terran, but perhaps there might be something like a very fast Defiler transition into the air, but you never know. And these units stuck on these minerals. Ooh, and I missed the minefield. Oh, look at that! I almost missed that. But W.O.P.R holding strong with the tanks in the back. And make no mistake, although they don't kill as much, they have done a lot of splash damage. And TSCMU breaks through, but a lot of these Hydras are damaged, so perhaps it's very well that he's pulling back. And I think he might have taken a 4th behind this, because now Terran's under pressure and can't enter into any map dominance, except with these vultures, but it seems to be constrained to mines only. A very low drone saturation, 41 going for an... And that is just a wacky build. I mean, for the first push, I think with Hydra Zerg you can get by, but I don't really see how you're going to pull off a Hydra Muta Scourge attack. I really don't. Meanwhile, lots of drones milling about. Perhaps they are getting caught up in this this choke. But I know that the Blizzard pathfinding says, well, you should be able to move from here to there, but it doesn't take into account that neutral building and these hacky minerals. So these drones get hung up, and perhaps that's slowing down the build of TSCMUs. Now, bunker not being rebuilt. What's happening in the base of W.O.P.R? W.O.P.R going for more factories and a couple of wraiths, so that's interesting because I don't think it's got really many out already. And again playing Minesweeper with any mutas around, so that's good, but there are not enough mutas and there are enough Goliaths with +1 weapon, so these mutas are taking way too much damage. And there go here come the wraiths, and they are going to do a lot of damage because they are cloaked. Here comes an Overlord, and I think that these wraiths might not really like that, but meanwhile these mutas will be killed off, and they are moving not towards the Overlord. They are mulling about, and the Overlord is not really being strategically employed to cover site for the units where they are. It's just... I don't know what to do. And that's the big problem with TSCMU. It's gotten so complex that I don't think even TSCMU, the author, knows anymore what it's doing because it's so very, very, very large and sprawling and doing all kinds of crazy things. Now we're going for the Defilers, going for Queens. And as you can see, this unit composition is just weird because we've got a handful of Mutas, we've got some Hydras with partial upgrades, and we've got Queens doing God knows what. Meanwhile, W.O.P.R not really taking any damage because these units of TSCMUs are just moving in, moving out, shaking it all about and losing hit points and eventually their lives. I think that TSCMU is counting on just taking the map and overpowering the enemy with harassment, but it's not really working, is it, if you're not killing anything? As you can see, this mech push is hardly taking any damage. These Zerg units are just moving in, moving out, moving in, moving out, and it's not getting anything done. Ah, that is so frustrating to watch. Full disclosure, I am a Zerg man myself, so I'd like to see Zerg doing better. Of course, you can't really, if it's being done like this. The Queens are saving up energy, but as they can't consume, it's taking too much time. And every time the Zerg units do get into the scrap with the enemy, they are doing good things, but then they move back again and they all get killed. Meanwhile, the enemy has been able to take up to a battle cruiser. And we've got a Defiler with the energy. But the units, they can't really make up their minds. There are drones all over the place. God knows what they're doing. There are a couple of Hydras, a couple of Zerglings with partial upgrades. We've got a couple of Queens waiting to do energy. It's... I can't... Oh! Just going to speed it up and take a look at the bigger picture. Meanwhile, W.O.P.R taking a third. That's good. We've got one swarm doing fuck all because there is no fighting going on. And W.O.P.R slowly but surely is taking the map, just taking a really long time to keep its force together with the tank cover. Tank and Goliaths covering each other, one battle cruiser overhead, 7 kills already. And now we've got a swarm, but against this many siege tanks, it's not really doing much. But the Goliaths now invading themselves on these Sunkens, and these Lings, they should just get them deep in there and do something, but instead they camp the main base. It's just... And luckily we've got some groupings doing something about these Queens, but now the drones come off the line while the Lings hover in the back. It's just... Ooh, can't bear to push. And of course there was no anti-air, so this battle cruiser racked up 23, 5 kills, and oh yeah, that is... As they are retreating, then you cast the Dark Swarm and chase them. And now the flap is on, because there is a humongous minefield, there is a large number of Queens gathering energy, and the Terran is being beaten back a little bit. That is good. And even the what happened here? I must have missed something, but I think that W.O.P.R mined out and TSCMU overtook him in the economy department, growing stronger. Oh wait, going to have to do that again. Sorry! Was foaming up the mouth with rage because TSCMU was playing like a well, shall we say ambivalent player. So going to play this at 16 times the speed until we are where it all started to go wrong for W.O.P.R. Now, very fast, again, TSCMU playing as the Zerg, going for a very fast Evo Chamber and a very, very fast +1 armor. W.O.P.R going for a very defensive position, but with a 2 base, and with a 2 base you can hold out versus a 3 base Zerg for a long time. Meanwhile, some drones getting stuck on these minerals. Interesting minefield up here, and there come the Swarm. The Swarm is attacking, not really breaking through, and then pulling back. Very well done so far. New unit composition. Lings get subbed for Mutas, and what will we see now? We won't see much because there are about as many Goliaths as there are Mutas. And if the Mutas and the Hydras don't attack at the same time, it's not much, if anything at all. Just be another sub. So if you look at the supply, W.O.P.R 15-ish supply up. A couple of vultures dying, but really these tanks just hold the entrance, and these all these Goliaths provide the air cover. Fourth base being taken by TSU supply. Still about 10-15 supply up for Terran. So here we were, TSU taking the middle and the W.O.P.R pushing out. As you can see, supply difference is increasing a little bit because these units of the Zerg player are moving in and out, and the Terran player is just a lot better of keeping a close front and keeping its units together, even killing some buildings. That's very good. And these queens, how many queens have we got? We've got 7 queens, and that is 700 gas, 1,000 minerals, just not really doing anything. We could have taken an expansion with Zerg and cleaned up all this mess, but queens are just more for cute, and they are not really they're not really effective. You've got to know when to build them, and just not always. So supply difference, TSU is catching up almost a little bit, because although it's losing bases and units, the Terran is not really cutting into the main danger. That is TSU taking more bases, growing economically, and taking up. We've got Plague, researching, upgrades coming up, and a lot of upgrades too, because although there are only we've got 2 muters and still +1 air weapons are being researched. And although the first battle cruiser now hits the field, the supply is almost equal, if not in the favour of TSU. Now, this battle cruiser is going to have something to say, and as you can see, that is perhaps the beginning of the end. That push is stalling, which is not really in the right direction. It could have taken out the base, but it's more kind of oblique push. Taking a bit of damage, not really doing much. So it's got high ground, it's battle cruiser doing a little bit, but it's not really enough. And as you can see, the W.O.P.R has gained some supply back in Zerg, and there is a great battle cruiser doing well. The damage potential for Terran is diminishing because we've got +2 weapons, and the Zerg is slowly getting better upgraded. Now we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this base is not really operational for Terran, and the main is mining out. So this is a bit of an economical weak spot for the Terran, because the main of Zerg is not mined out. The natural is not yet mined out, and at the Terran side, though the natural is still good, only now come the SCVs. So that is, if we had an income graph, Zerg would be massively ahead, and then you can lose some units left and right, or a lot of units, as we can probably see in the units lost screen I'll show you later. But in the end, I don't think it's going to... Terran is just losing too much time, because the push gets drawn out. We've got vultures here, and although these queens don't have any energy at all, they try to ruling them. These vultures don't really do well against buildings, and the Goliaths and tanks are at another point, moving slowly up to the main base entrance. Now, third base saturated, very well done, but we are now going to have a battle of the entrance of the natural TSUs, and TSU, well, building creep colonies, that's good. Seeing it coming, thinking, well, perhaps with all these units flapping about, moving in and back, perhaps we'll need some creep colonies. At least they can't go anywhere, so they'll just have to do their job and kill things until they die. Here comes the great big push, but the vultures are being occupied by Hydraling and queens, so they are not here, and now the Goliaths are having to do the horrible job of taking damage for the tanks, and though there is a defiler at the back, Commissar Defiler just consuming all the troops that are needed to kill off the base, and although the hive is out here, and 2 defilers even, the battle cruiser is taking kills, taking names I should say, but the tanks in the back with the +3, they are not pushing ahead as fast as possible, so 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tanks in a single Goliath. The other tanks here are being detained by the vultures, and W.O.P.R decided to take a base here which is now under attack, so that is drying up the reinforcement of the Terran. Now we had 7, we've got 5 left. I heard a queen. So although TSU is now defending with drones and queens, the Zerglings finally reach the tanks, and that is that. Because with only 3 tanks, a Battlecruiser and a Goliath, you can't really sustain a push on the natural of a Zerg, which is now on 5 or say 4 bases. That counts like that, right? Meanwhile, Zerg long distance mining from I don't know where, and the supply lines are just crippling. The supplies 165 for TSU and 24 for W.O.P.R. And although the Hive is taking damage, it's got a lot of hit points, so it doesn't really matter. And the second Battlecruiser arrives, more units, but there are mutants chasing stuff all over the place, and now a small strike force of Hydras and Zerglings hits the third, which at this point is almost the only mining base of the Terrans, and even with a mutant. So this base is shut down, and a lot of SCVs are at the expansion, so that's not good. So here go the siege tanks, and that is going to be a long retreat for these 2 battles, because there are Scourge, there are Hydras, and there is a pair of Defilers tunneling with Dark Swarms behind that. No, you can't bring a Battlecruiser. And although W.O.P.R is making another last-ditch effort, a sort of Ardennes offensive to kill off another Zerg base, and there is another Battlecruiser. If you look at the supplies, 155 for TSU, 106 for W.O.P.R. The damage has been done, there are no more SCVs, and even if this small strike force dies, the damage is done, because the natural is mined out, the main is gone. And although the same can be said for the Zerg has got 1, 2, 3 more operational bases, and a 4th being taken. Now, it's going... Ooh! That is an expensive mine drag with the Defiler, but that's an insane... Why aren't... Well, we've got 68 spider mines still, even after these 2 humongous explosions. So, supply-wise, TSU now doubling his opponent, and although these 2 Battlecruisers are being attacked by blue things, I don't really see this happening, because here come the Hydras, here comes the Swarm, and the Expeditionary Force, well, I don't think they are +3 Goliaths, but in the end I don't see it happening. Because this base is under attack once more, the natural is gone, and even though we've got 62 spider mines in the face of a Zerg with a map, I don't think that is really going to work. Look at the saturation. Look at the amount of drones. We've got 84 drones versus 16 SCVs, and we've got more Brooklings in the main base. We've got the last battle of the 3rd of Terrans, and even in the infested command center should be some infested Terrans really, because hey, why not? TSU going front of the soul with 43 Zerglings, 21 Hydras, 18 Queens. Good morning, rocket. The enemy hasn't even got 18 supply left, and all the spider mines are now cleaned out, but 3, 2, and although Defiler dies with the last one, it is now 183 supply versus 2. There is a Goliath out somewhere, I don't know where, perhaps it's being built still, but no, it's gone. And as they say, that was the game. So TSU almost losing it, or almost losing it, not really losing it because W.O.P.R couldn't pack enough of a punch, but with a very interesting unit composition. If you look at the final composition on 200 supply, we've got 91 drones, that's almost half. We've got a 5th of the remaining supply in Zerglings, a 5th in Hydras, and almost a 5th, no, that's more than a, oh god, that's almost a 5th of the supply in Queens, and that's just not good. That's just not good, but it's enough, and even plaguing some of his own mutas. So that was that. We've got 2 new bots from the University of Denmark, so welcome. They're both playing Protoss and ET, so very impressive. Meanwhile, W.O.P.R versus TSU to close off the day. This was the Student StarCraft AI tournament again. The CIG sign-up deadline is the 16th of July, so if you want to upgrade your bots for that, be quick about it and submit them, because it's going to be an interesting tournament with the scene still growing, and that is always nice to have. So, this was that for now. I wish you a good week and goodbye.